Now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here, and right next to the San Diego landings in Point Loma, we have a couple of great guests here from Blue Sea Stabilizers, Chris Jones and Ali Hussainy. Yeah, that same Ali. He's got so many hats, it's unbelievable. But he's going to introduce Chris Jones, who's just an amazing guy. You stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
For quality, the Islander out of Fisherman's Landing is a favorite among anglers. But Islander Charters is much more than great fishing. The quality of the captains and crew, as well as the great meals and service, speak for themselves. Comfortable staterooms, a super clean and well taken care of boat are just a few of the reasons the Islander is so popular. The Islander specializes in 1.5 to 5 day fishing. Experience the Islander difference. Visit IslanderSportFishing.com.
It's time for the Power Pro 30-second seminar. I like catching big fish, and I like smaller reels, too. How do I make sure that I have the capacity to land the big one? I fill my reels with Power Pro Max Quattro. It's 25% thinner than standard Power Pro, so you get more line on that small reel. Power Pro has a complete series of highly effective lines, including the brand new Power Pro Depth Hunter Offshore, with different colors every 100 feet. Perfect for flatfall fishing. Want to learn more? Check PowerPro.com.
It's the perfect time to cruise on in and purchase a brand new Yamaha outboard, and a great deal during Yamaha's Cruise Through Summer Sales event. From now until August 30th, 2024, eligible new Yamaha 450 to 425 horsepower outboards include up to 7 years of coverage protection, and 350 to 30 horsepower outboards come with up to 5 years. Need portable power? Then this will be a hit too. New 25 to 2.5 horsepower outboards come with up to $250 in dealer credit. Cruise your way through saving during Yamaha's Cruise Through Summer Sales event. Visit your local Yamaha dealer. Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Offer ends August 30th, 2024. Subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models excluded. 24-month Yamaha extended service added to 36 or 60-month factory limited warranty. Choice offered by Florida dealers is a 24-month Yamaha extended limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer. In Florida, Yamaha extended service is administered by Automotive Warranty Services of Florida, Incorporated, 175 West Jackson Boulevard, Chicago, Illinois, 60604-866-937. License number 60023.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, man. What a great show today's going to be. I got so many questions. Like, every time we talk about stabilizing, Seakeeper, all the cool stuff like this, I always get so pumped. And, you know, obviously we always have so much fun talking with Ali, all the cool stuff that he's doing. But this is going to be a different angle and a really cool show today. I'm pumped.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and his buddy Chris Jones is just just coming in. And Ali, you've been fishing hard.
Yeah, man, it's that time of year.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah, you look tired. Yeah, yeah. You were out yesterday.
We were. Yep. Yeah. It was a pretty rough day out there. It was very, very slow, but we got fortunate and we glassed up. My deckhand Dave glassed up a nice chunk of bigger fish at like 4 miles away, which is, if you know anything about glassing, that's far.
That's a long way.
It was a long one, man. He's like, I got splashes. I'm like, no, you don't. I got splashes.
And then a porpoise, man, settle down.
Yeah, exactly. Porpoise locators is our specialty. And ran into it and were able to talk one into it. The good news is there's just a ton of anchovy out there. I mean, ton. This thing was foaming like crazy, and I could not get a bite on the flying fish because they were just so drunk on all that anchovy.
Yeah.
You know, they get keyed in on that. I mean, it's unusual they won't eat a flying fish, but when they're up foaming and they won't eat a flying fish,
there's something wrong.
Something's wrong.
They're full.
They were I think they get so crazy about, you know, the free buffet that they don't want to look at anything else.
Sure.
You know, they're really dialed into it. And then on the way home, same thing. you know, we had to kind of get out of there. The wind was getting really serious out there last night, big swells. And, you know, I said, hey, let's throw the kite down below and keep an eye out. And we ran another 10, 12 miles and saw some splashes and hung another 2 there and fought them into the dark and came home late.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when you're saying running, how fast are you running on that boat?
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if the weather's nice, it's like 40 knots. If the weather's not nice, it's like 30 knots. It'll run 30 in just about anything.
That's
32.
really...
It moved, man. I'll say that Contender, it rides. It's a monster. It just rides out.
39 Contender with triple 400s?
Yeah, 400 V10s. It goes.
It's so long on the water. It's wild. You know, we park right next to Ollie, and like every time I'm down on the boat, I look. It's like. It's huge, dude. It's so cool looking.
Yeah, it's not that wide. I mean, it's 10'10" wide, which is wide, but for a 39-foot boat, it's not super wide. Yeah. It's like a knife, though. I mean, it's really, the CV rode good. This thing rides exceptional. I mean, really, and dry as a bone. It really, really does well. It's a good running boat for sure.
That's cool. Well, so you have BD Outdoors, and of course you have your own charter business that you do, and now you have Blue Seas Fabrication that just did beautiful job on Sea Deck on my Steiger.
I heard we took care of it.
Came out so awesome. And now you have Blue Seas Stabilizers with Chris Jones. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. How's it going?
Hey,
what's up, buddy?
Great to have you. And you're no stranger to this fishing business, are you?
No. Been doing it for a while.
Yeah. So tell us about your history.
Well, basically, I grew up down in Mexico, in Baja, southern Baja. I was fortunate enough to do that.
Yeah.
Went to school down there. Parents owned a sport fishing fleet. Or it was a family
One of
business.
these sport fishing fleets.
Correct.
Tell us who that is.
Fisherman's Fleet down in La Paz.
Yeah. So, your dad's Davy Jones.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the Jones comes in.
Exactly.
Yeah. 'Cause everybody knows Davy Jones.
Pete figures his stuff out.
Nothing getting by us.
No.
Yeah. You know what just happens, right? But so you've been around boats and you just know boats inside and out. And how did you get into this seakeeper business? And why in the world would you go into business with Ali? That's the first question I want to know.
Well, we've worked together for a long time, actually. I've run boats for them down in La Paz for, 15 years, I think?
Yeah, it's been a while.
And I was working on big boats, and I got a call that, wanted to start a dealership here in San Diego, and it's a product that I know. I've run boats that have them on it. I mean, it's one of the best things you can add to your boat. So it's just a really great product, and made it easy to make that jump. So we're doing it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So what are you doing? You're doing sales, installation, the whole thing?
Correct. Yeah, we're a full service elite dealer here in San Diego. So we've got service, installs, sales, both ride and Seakeeper gyros.
All right.
And that's been kind of the thing. I mean, anything that hangs that Blue Seas tag on it has been service orientated number one. I mean, that's what you guys have always been known for. Is just, when you call, somebody picks up the phone. When you got a question, somebody answers it. When you need to go somewhere, there's somebody there to deal with it. And I mean, you guys have just always been so on the spot when it comes to the service side of things.
Thanks, man. Being embedded in the community, like I feel like I'm selling 7 different things, but it's all value. You know what I mean? Like, it's all stuff I believe in. I was running Sea Deck before anybody was out here. I knew the value of it, and, having that extra bit of cushion and the traction and not banging my ribs on the gunnel when I go down to lift a fish or whatever, and
but when you kneel on the deck, man, your knees are safe.
Working on the boat. And it's like funny, my deck handle just flop out and lay on the deck on the ride home. You know what I mean?
Standing on the deck all day.
It's so much nicer. So much nicer.
Yeah.
And then it was the same with Seakeeper, Early on, we approached them with the show because we loved the product,
right.
And they were willing to partner with us, and that's kind of where it all started. We talked to the guys in marketing back east, and then built a relationship with Jason out here, who I know you know. Jason's a great dude. He's in charge of sales for most of the country, and when Jason saw what we did with the Sea Deck side, he's like, "You guys think you could do the same thing with Seakeeper?" I think so. I mean, it's a great product. We know that. And, it's all really a lot of the same customers. We do a lot of work with boat yards and, big boat guys and small boat guys. And it was just a great fit. And, I mean, talk about a product I believe in. Again, man, that Seakeeper, I feel like will add years to my career.
Absolutely.
Especially being on, I don't want to say smaller boats, but I'm not running around in a flybridge boat that's big and heavy. We're hauling ass, and that thing keeps us from getting beat up when we're drifting and fishing those big tunas or even cod fishing. I mean, there's no bad day to have a Seakeeper on, that's for sure.
Yeah. Last night in 30 knots a wind.
Oof, dude. My clients were buddies of mine last night that were on the boat. They're like, well, how would it be without the Seakeeper? I'm like, we don't want to talk about that.
I mean, we don't want to shut it off right now.
Dead beam and 6-footers that were like, you could almost touch the next one as the first one was coming at you. It was tight out there. Yeah, weatherman got it wrong. It was supposed to blow like 15 to 20, and I was up in that tower. I'm like, dude, it is blowing solid 20, 25, and gusting well over 30. But it makes it doable,
fun
man.
Is that?
Oh, I'm telling you. I used to come home with the thing, my wife knows, I used to come home with bruises everywhere, bumping into rod holders, bumping into people, hitting a hole, banging yourself on the console. That just goes away.
Yeah.
You're not stumbling around. You're not rolling like crazy. You just feel more refreshed and energized.
There's no question about it.
Yeah.
It'll add a longer day to your day, and you're not going to go home beat up. And
100%.
It's just it's a miracle. It's a miracle device.
Yeah, we all like to think we're 22 still, but I am very sure I'm not.
Yeah.
I know I'm not. It makes it a lot easier to get out of bed the next day for sure.
For sure. Now, tell us about the ride system, Chris.
So it's a they call it a vessel attitude control system, a VAX. It's basically a set of tabs that an automated set of tabs for your
trim
boat.
tabs.
Trim tabs, exactly. They don't, it's a controller that sits on the transom. There's 2 controllers per boat. It's got a the sensor in it's high tech. I mean, it'll keep your boat flat and running straight when you're running. So it's underway stability, basically, is what it is.
Yeah. So it doesn't do anything for the side to side that the Seakeeper does, but it's when you're running it works.
Correct. It'll take over at about 15 knots, 17 miles an hour, and the gyro's good up to about 15. It will still help on the smaller boats when you're running, but a lot of the bigger boats, they'll lock the gyro. So the ride comes in and just keeps the boat running flat at the proper attitude, basically, while you're running.
Why can't you do that with trim tabs?
Well, you can if you want to sit there and adjust them every 2 seconds. I mean, we've all been on a boat where you're running the boat and it could be a kid that walks one side to the other and the boat lays down on a chine. And you're sitting there trying to adjust, and just when you got the boat running flat, somebody will get up to go get a coffee or something. The whole thing, So
and it does all that automatically.
Correct. Yeah.
100 times a second. It adjusts.
100 times.
100 times a second. We've got a demo, and they're not really a traditional tab. They look more like a scoop or something.
Yep.
Like a 18-inch long kind of scoop. So you don't need a lot of leverage because it's grabbing a lot of water when it goes down. Like I said, I was telling you guys before the show, I was not a believer. I'm like, this is a gimmick. This can't work that great. When you see what it does, the demo boat they brought out here was a 26-foot. What was that thing?
I forget. I went on that demo too.
You rode it too.
Oh yeah.
It was just a sportsman. That's what it was. Production boat. That boat rode like a 32 contender. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Pretty impressive.
Takes all the pounding out. Chris keeps saying the right attitude, but what that translates is your boat is hitting the waves with the sharp part on the front where you want it to.
Yeah.
Instead of slapping all over the place and skipping, and it totally, it transforms a boat. It's a whole new animal after it's on there.
Yeah.
And like you talked about it, like, you can adjust the trim tab because a kid walked. Well, this isn't one time for one kid moving. It's every wave, every move, everything, everything. Like you said, hundreds of times a second it's making micro adjustments.
Exactly.
Not because 60 pounds transferred slowly to one side of the boat. It's adjusting when it came off of one wave before it hits the next, and then when it hits the next one and before it hits the next one again. Like, it's always constantly changing.
And it's learning also. So it'll get the wavelength down. As you're running, it's calculating, so it's adjusting before it actually happens. Yes.
And then there's so many benefits. The time to plane on that sportsman boat, like with them off, was 8 seconds. Not bad, right? With them on was 4 seconds.
Holy
wow,
mackerel.
no kidding.
A lot of cases you can go 5 to 10 miles an hour slower in weather because it'll keep the boat up on plane.
That's great.
Value for what you're getting, for around 8 to 15 grand for most boats. I don't think
that's
you can
installed?
beat it. That's installed, yeah.
Wow.
And we've done I think almost every boat we've done was a Parker.
Yep.
And those guys are over the moon.
Yeah.
The Park, obviously everybody loves their Parker. The one thing they're not good at is riding. That's no secret, right? This takes a Parker and it turns it into a beast. Wow. It really is impressive, really.
That's cool.
Wow, and it's the Seakeeper ride system. Now, and let's face it, a regular Seakeeper is not a cheap deal. But this is very affordable.
Yeah, for the money, I don't know what else you can do to a boat to make it ride like that. You can't. Short of, if you had older power and you repowered, that would be a huge step. electronics, right? But that doesn't help the ride of the boat.
Yeah.
And there's really nothing else you can do for that money to make your boat ride like a bigger boat. I mean, it's almost like buying another boat.
And the benefit is the guys are saying they're seeing big gains in fuel efficiency, like 10 to 20%, because the boat's not slapping around and staying on step the whole time. I'm going to put it on my Contender, and that boat does not need any help riding. It rides great. But when I'm running, it likes to rock a little bit back and forth because it's such a deep V, and there's really no downside to it. You know what I mean? And I don't have to think about it.
Sure.
You hit the auto button. If you want, you can go manual and run them manually, but I don't think anybody does. You just kind of set it and forget it.
And if the fuel efficiency, even if it's just a little bit over miles and miles and miles that you're putting on a charter boat now, it's going to pay for itself.
Oh, dude, 10%. If you burn, 700-800 hours a year,
right.
That's a lot of fuel.
Totally.
A lot of fuel. I might spend $1,500 on a long run. Say, put $150 back in my pocket.
Totally.
So the ride system attaches right to the transom?
Correct. Yeah. It gets plexus to the transom.
Yeah,
So
just straight
replaces your trim tabs.
Yeah, you take
the trim tab.
They take the
so now on my Steiger, and I think on your Contender too, they have recessed trim tabs. Is that an issue?
No, pockets we can fill. We'll fill them and gel coat them or bottom paint in this, in your case, that your boat lives in the water. So no, that's not an issue. It adds a little bit of time to the install.
Yeah.
But no, it's not a problem.
Yeah. So
it's just glass work. It isn't fun, but it's very, very doable, and we've done several of them. And
do that.
Yeah. And actually, the thing that he's finding now is he'd rather have the glass work done because it starts with a very clean blank canvas, no hoses, no nothing in the way. The last couple have been that way, and he's slammed them in very, very quickly.
So you just do that at a boatyard and do the install over at Blue Seas?
Yeah, or we can handle it in house.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You'll do the glass work too?
Yeah, depending on the extent of the glass work.
Sure.
All right. Wow, that's cool. So tell us about your fishing history. You've done. This is not your first rodeo in the fishing business. You talked about growing up with your dad in the fisherman fleet in La Paz and stuff like that. What kind of fishing have you done?
Fortunately, I got to grow up in La Paz, so that as far as like the exotic pelagics and everything, I've done all that.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. That started with cleaning ice chests basically, and then filleting fish, and then going out with the guys, and then so that turned into deckhanding, which turned into running boats. Mostly, Southern California down to Southern Baja, I guess would be kind of my main thing. But within that,
ran a lot of yachts up and down.
Yacht deliveries, run yachts up and down. We had a lodge at Mag for like 15 seasons.
Wow.
Oh, no kidding. That's cool.
So we've
what was that like?
That was a lot of fun. That was the frontier. I mean, we weren't the first guys to do it. Obviously, there were, the other people that were already there, but we were one of the first people to do it with bigger center consoles, bigger, faster boats. That was great.
You guys don't do that anymore?
No. So after COVID, we decided to switch it up a little bit. So I went to private boats, again, going up and down the coast. But I like the inshore, offshore kind of mix of everything. I mean, I like everything. I like coding. I like marlin fishing.
That's right.
But I was fortunate enough to be able to do all that growing up.
That's pretty cool. And how did you get your technical expertise?
Working on boats.
Being around it your whole life.
Yeah, I mean, it's more, as we all know, it ends up being more boat work than actual fishing.
Yes.
There's no fishing in fishing.
No. Boat is a project.
Yeah. You want to fish less? Get in the fishing industry. That's like the old joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just working on boats, working in engine rooms, especially places like Mag where you're out in the middle of nowhere, you better fix it or you're going to have issues. I mean, I know Southern California is actually kind of nice. For me, it's a change up, as far as there's, services to be had. But when you're down in the middle of nowhere, you just got to figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. And what's your favorite type of fishing? What's number one on your list?
Number one, I think if we're going to go old school, like some of the old school dog snapper fishing down south, how it used to be, trolling big ladyfish on the surface. I mean, that's probably my favorite. Jigging's a lot of fun. I love yellowtail. And then I think, as cliche as it sounds, I mean, marlin's just like my favorite. Backing down on a marlin, there's nothing better than that for me.
That's pretty cool. Well, as you hear, we have cod.
Bottom fishing.
He likes the cod. Yeah, we like the cod.
We all like the cod.
That's fun as hell.
And this guy is named after it, right? Rock cod, right?
I know.
Yeah. No, cotton is fun.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. Never discount cotton.
No, best eaten fish and generally the easiest to find.
Yeah, and fun to catch.
And just relaxing. I mean, you go out and shut the boat down, not a bunch of noise, and grab a beer or whatever. And
100%.
Never know what you're going to catch. You're going to bring up something different each time.
Yeah, for sure.
Cod fishing equals beer drinking contest usually.
Well, as you can hear, we got a great show. So much fun stuff to talk about. And man, with these guys in studio too, I mean, you want to talk about a wealth of knowledge and so much to cover. And man, I feel bad for the amount of questions that I'm going to take over bumping these guys. But yeah, going to be a great show, talking everything from Blue Sea Stabilizers. If you want to join us, man, we would love to hear from you this morning. Give us a call at 213-432-1090. Again, 213-432-1090 is how you reach us on the phones. Or send us a text. The text the show option, as we always say, only available through the Let's Talk Hookup app. It's a free download if you don't have it. The only way that you can send in your text messages is through the Let's Talk Hookup app. And when you do, make sure you include your contact info, a name, and a phone number so we can get a hold of you if you win today's killer prize. And what a prize it is today. Somebody is going to get a brand new pair of Costa sunglasses. It's going to go to one caller or texter at the end of the show. That's going to be decided from a coin flip, and it's a really cool prize. You're going to get a $300 gift certificate to Costa.com, and basically you're going to get to pick out whatever you'd like. Any pair of glasses, you got $300 going your way. You can spend the extra on any of that killer Costa gear. They have performance shirts and gear and bags, anything. You got $300 of Costa for one lucky caller. So stoked.
What are you sporting today on Costa there? I saw you walking into the
these are the new ones, the Taxmans.
The Taxmans.
One of the newest frames.
They're really Southern California looking. I dig them. They fit good. I'm really happy with them, and those glass Costa lenses, man.
What lens you use?
Depends. On the boat, I like the blue mirror.
The blue mirror.
Or green mirror if it's going to be overcast. They have that new yellow color.
Yeah.
They sent me a pair of. I've used it a little bit on
yellow
those gloomy
or the
days. No, it's a yellowy color.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's on the gloomy days like we have mostly offshore. It really brightens things up, makes it easier to see kelp and stuff.
Yeah.
They're like that frame there, the Taxman is part of a lot of what they're building now, and it's really popular for us in SoCal, and they call them hybrid frames. So Costa's always made, they call them fishing frames, which are more of like the very traditional, like high wraparound, a lot of angle to them, or they have lifestyle frames, which are like the very square, kind of off of your face lenses. What Ali has there, that Taxman, and then they have several that are now, they call them hybrids, which is more of a square frame that then angles back and like blocks the sun from the sides, but has that more kind of traditional everyday look frame, and like that's what we're selling a lot of in the shop now. Those hybrid style frames that are kind of a cross between the two.
Really nice.
But with Costa, whether you pick like a normal square rectangle everyday lens, they all have that Costa 580 fishing glass in them. So whatever frame style you pick, you always get the killer fishing glass.
I keep
they're the
trying
best,
to
man.
scratch those 580 lenses. They just don't.
It's pretty hard, man.
It's really hard.
Cool.
Yeah, you got to drop them in a parking lot or something nasty to really get them to scratch.
You wipe them off with your T-shirt, no problem.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
no problem.
Crazy.
It's always so funny. We tell people that same thing. If you happen to, if one of our Costa like salespeople is in there, and like you hear the boys like telling that, the Costa salespeople will cringe if they hear you saying that, because they're sunglass people. It's always like microfiber, solution spray. Our kids are on a sport boat every day of their life. Like, oh no, these things are great because when you get saltwater spray all over, you just lick your finger and wipe it with your T-shirt. And you see like a sunglass person like cringe, like, oh, you really should use spray in a microfiber. And all of us like, oh yeah, man, I've had these glasses for 4 years. I've never done that ever. They're still perfect. Don't listen to this guy, man. They're fine. Yeah. Buy these. They're great. And with that, one person is going to get $300 to Costa at the end of today's show. Again, if you want to get your shot at that great prize, or better yet, your chance to talk to Chris and Ali, give us a call at 213-432-1090, or send those texts to the Let's Talk Hookup app. And when we come back, we're going to be taking those phone calls, reading those texts. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
Everyone has their go-to fishing spot. My spot is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. Rock Cod Rick here to say if you're looking for the ultimate Alaska experience and the best value in Alaska, it's Kingfisher Charters. Owner Seth Bone and his crew consistently deliver deluxe accommodations, the finest food, world-class fish processing, and top-of-the-line fishing experience. We've literally sent hundreds of our listeners to Kingfisher, and they all can't wait to go back. Most Alaska resorts make big promises, and they don't deliver, or they'll nickel and dime you to drive up the cost, but not Kingfisher. Everything is included. Your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, your gear. Literally all you need to bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. They also have the finest boats and charter captains in Sitka, all for the ultimate value. Take it from me. Book your trip to Kingfisher Charters and you'll thank me. Kingfisher Charters. 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
Offshore fishing is on. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. For bluefin tuna and yellowtail, nothing beats the Shimano Talica, the pinnacle of lever drag 2-speed reels. Shimano's Speedmaster 2 is also an extremely durable, high-performance lever drag reel for the more budget-minded angler. Both the Talica and Speedmaster 2 feature Shimano's Hagani body to prevent misalignment of moving parts under the heaviest of loads. For all your Shimano, visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet. Fisherman's Landing offers half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day trips on the Liberty. Many trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
The lighter the bite and the cleaner the water means one thing. Need a thinner leader for more natural presentations. That's where Seaguar Gold Label leader material shines. It's Seaguar's thinnest leader material yet. That means it's even less visible underwater and creates more natural presentations for better catch rates on leader-shy fish. With exceptional knot and tinsel strength, this advanced leader material is now available from 2-pound test for fishing trout in the Sierra to 80-pound test for big yellowfin in Guadalupe. Get Seaguar Gold Label at your favorite tackle dealer or learn more at seaguar.com.
Many years ago, Baja pioneer Bob Van Wormer found the area he called the Great Fish Trap in the East Cape of southern Baja and built what is now regarded as the premier East Cape resorts of Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Today, following in their father's footsteps, Bob's sons, Bobby, Chucky, and Eddie, have taken Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol to new levels with the largest sport fishing fleet in Mexico, a luxurious spa, and top-of-the-line resort amenities. Van Wormer Resorts have become a destination for travelers worldwide. But for us, Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol are just a short 2-hour flight away. No other tropical fishing destination offers the experience and value that you'll find at Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Now you can plan your Baja fishing vacation quick and easy by visiting VanWormerResorts.com. And when you're ready to book, it's quick and easy. Or simply call 877-777-TUNA for more information. Van Wormer Resorts, the East Cape's finest.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning. Again, if you want to get through, give us a call, 213-432-1090 is how you reach us on the phone, or start those texts coming through with Let's Talk Hookup app.
Yeah, you have a great text, huh?
Yeah, just perfect one to get us started with the boys here from Blue Sea Stabilizer, and it's from Ernie, who's sending us a text all the way from Prosper, Texas, and it says, I just wanted to know how long this technology has been around in regards to the Seakeeper standard stabilizer and also Seakeeper Ride, and also my question for both of you guys is, where do you see the future in terms of advancement with this technology?
So the ride system's been out for, I guess, a little over a year, almost 2 years.
I think pretty close to 2.
Yeah. But they've been testing it.
Has it? Wow.
Yeah, they've been testing it for several years. I mean, that's the good thing about Seakeeper is they won't put out a product that doesn't work. If anything, they over-test everything, which is great for us. Just leads to less headaches. And the gyro's been out since, I think, 2012.
Ish, yeah. No, even before that. I want to say like 08, 09. Yeah, somewhere in there. It's been a while, and it's really been refined a lot since then as well.
And I think they started development on that in the early 2000s, so it's been around for a while.
What's the power demands on the ride system? I know, Seakeeper has different, as you get bigger, you need a generator, but the smaller ones like M1, your 3, all run on battery power. What is the battery demand for the ride system?
Not much more than your current Lenco setup.
Really? Really?
Yeah, I mean, it will draw.
Which pretty much nothing.
It's
right?
a little bit more of a constant draw because it's always adjusting itself. But really nothing to worry about. I mean, standard battery bank is fine.
Yeah, and you're always running when it's running, so you don't have to worry that much.
Correct. Yeah, it's very low amperage draw on that.
Yeah. Hey, 213-432-1090 open right now. Keith Saunders was hearing us talking about Costas, and he says, I bought a pair of prescription Costas 2 years ago at the Fred Hall show with fantail frame and copper mirror. They're the most clear, comfortable pair of sunglasses I've ever worn. I am looking forward to buying another pair. So another Costa fan out there. So I know you guys have been Costa fans for a long time.
A long time,
for sure.
That sunrise silver mirror that you were, I'm assuming that's when you were talking about.
Yeah,
that sunrise silver mirror, like, that's we always say that, like, I don't think that can be the first pair that you buy or the only pair that you buy, because it's like it's a niche pair of glasses, but in the situation that it calls for, which, let's face it, in Southern California, a gray, overcast, cloudy day happens a lot. In fact, it probably happens more than a bluebird day.
Yeah.
But that's a golden tool to have. I mean, they really are a huge difference. It allows you to be into your glasses way earlier in the day. You still get all the glare cut off the water, but in a time when you just couldn't wear your gray lenses or your blue lenses or those things that and it just makes things stand out so much better. Like, it's such a good pair of glasses, and I like what they did so much. You can get them either way. You can get them with just the yellow, or you can get them with that mirror film in front of them. Like, I never, it's just, whatever, vain, dumb, whatever. I just never liked the looks of like a bright yellow pair of shades on your face. And Costa just has that little silver mirror film, so it looks just like any other pair of glasses. But what you're seeing is that brightened, heightened look that you get out of looking at the yellow pair of glasses. I love those things. They're killer.
No, they work. You got another good one, huh?
Yeah, definitely. It was from John in Rancho San Diego. It says, hey, so great to hear from Chris and Alice today, which I know he meant Ali in a typo, but I felt it was proper to read.
I answered to that.
Yeah, sure. I thought so too. Hey guys, I was curious why we haven't seen Seakeeper on sport boats yet. It seems like the stabilization makes such a difference on small boats, and it would be such a good business. Attraction for the public to know. I think that they would let people know via websites which boats have stabilizers or not. Why have we not seen it in addition to the sport boat fleet yet?
I really don't know. Call us.
I
mean, we'd love to do something like that. You could introduce 30 people a day to the technology and blow them away. But I'm honestly surprised some of the bigger boats don't have it. I mean, you look at, there's 250-foot yachts. They have them. They just put multiple units in, or they find a way to make it work. The biggest concern with Seakeeper is always kind of space. Space under deck, and on a sport boat, not that big of an issue. I think it'd be killer to do one or two or whatever. But if anybody's interested, we'd love to talk to you about it.
It'd be a great application for it too, because I mean the Seakeeper units that last the longest are the ones that never get shut off.
Really?
Really? Yeah. There's wind farm boats in the Netherlands that have 30,000 plus hours on them. So I mean the hardest. The people that put the most work to the Seakeeper are people like Ali. If you're spooling up in the morning, shutting it down at night, and then you're running and it's hitting on its bearings and stuff, and you still get thousands of hours out of them. I mean, it's not an issue. It's just, the sport boat fleet would be a perfect application for that.
See, I always, knowing nothing about it, assumed the opposite of it's best for a yacht that, at best they go with the owner who goes once in a while, and there would be too many hours, not knowing. But just from 2 seconds of you saying that, you start to think, well, man, a sport boat, it's not banging around, it's going 10 knots, it's a steady platform for it, it's not a harsh environment for it. It just gets to do what it was made to do over and over. I had for sure not thought that way previous to you saying that. My always fear was, man, it's just that this is now in a boat that doesn't get used once a month by the owner. This gets used all day, every day, and never turned off.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like a lot of machinery. I mean, you're going to get X amount of hours out of it, but the less wear and tear you put on it, and a bigger, slower boat is that. Mm-hmm. A lot of the big sport, the sport fishing boats will lock the gyro when they're running. Mm-hmm. It's actually recommended to do that at high speeds. Just there's less wear and tear on it, so it's spooled up, ready to go. And as soon as you slow down, you get on fish, you just hit the button, and it'll stabilize the boat. But it's actually better to lock the gyro while you're running.
It is, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. But you said not on a smaller boat.
No, I mean, a lot of the smaller boats will leave them on. I think it helps with controlling the bow while you're running.
I think it definitely does.
But as you start to get into some of these big sport fishes, that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight slinging around. And they're usually stable enough just underway that it's not going to make a huge difference. And then on the smaller boats now with the ride, that's a non-issue because the ride would take over and then you've got stabilization.
And then you were talking about these boats in the Netherlands that never turn out. What are those?
Wind farm boats.
Boats.
So they're just maintenance. I mean, they're just doing maintenance on the wind farms, but
and they have them on all the time.
The weather up there's not that great. They're running all the time.
Must have been a game changer for those guys.
Oh yeah, totally.
Tons of work boats are putting them. I mean, tons and tons. Those boats in Louisiana that do all the oil rig stuff. Imagine you got to pull up to an oil rig in a rocky, rolly sea.
Dude, totally right.
And now that boat is dead stable, and the oil rig, because it's anchored, is dead stable. It just makes it easier to work.
I can't imagine.
It makes funny because like when we're filming the show, a camera boat very rarely has a stabilizer. So we try to transfer cameramen. My boat's rock solid, and this other thing's pitching and roll. It's kind of scary.
Yeah,
you either want to have like two boats without them to meet each other, or two boats with them.
Yeah, right.
Because you're just in such a different rhythm when you pull up next to the other boat. And I mean, we're out there in way offshore trying to transfer cameramen and gear and do all that. It makes all the difference in the world.
How is there a scenario where the Seakeeper doesn't work for a boat, or can you guys make it work, fab wise all the time? Like I've heard of guys like, hey, we don't have space for the right size, so we put two smaller ones, or we'll put three real small ones in. Like, what are the scenarios that some people might think are limiting that you guys have already are end arounds for?
Space below decks really is the main one, and like you say, you can stack Seakeepers. So if you need an equivalent of an 18, a Seakeeper 18, you could run two 9s. Mm-hmm. You could run, a 6, a 3, and you can stack them. So there's boats that have 5, 6 Seakeepers on them. So on the little bit larger boats, I mean, we can find a place under a bed, somewhere under.
It doesn't
a
have to be midship.
It does not have to be midship. Does not have to be aft. I mean, on a faster boat, the farther aft, the better. Just less beating, right?
Right.
But some of the bigger boats, like a sport boat, you could run it you could hang it off a pole, 20 feet off the bow if you could handle the torque. It will stabilize. I mean, you could put it in the tower of a sport fish if it wouldn't tear it apart, right? But you want to be tied into a stringer. Obviously, it's a lot of force being applied to the boat, and so there are some parameters that we look for. But I mean, with building, custom brackets and everything, there's not a whole lot of boats we can't do.
No, I mean, I think the only real limiting factor is just space, really. I mean, that's the challenge. And I mean, the first thing we talk about when somebody's like, hey, can you give us a quote? It's like, okay, where are we going to put it?
Sure.
And Seakeeper takes a very OEM approach to it. It reminds me a lot of like the auto industry. They've got databases of every boat they've ever done, notes on where they put it, how it worked, photos and all that. So like, okay, before we even look at the boat, this guy's got this boat this year. Okay, what's the database have? Figure out what was done in the past. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want something, that somebody's already figured out for us, and then kind of work within those parameters and try to squeeze one in wherever we can. And as the boats get bigger, I think it just gets easier and easier because you just have so many more options for space.
What opened my eyes though to the ability of it, like, I don't know, this thing really is for everybody, was Pete's boat. Pete has Pete has the same boat that hundreds of our listeners have, a 25-foot pilot house that fits on a trailer that goes fishing, and your Seakeeper is as clean as could be, not in the way, not taking up space. It just takes the right fab and spot, and away you go. I mean, that thing is in everybody's got a
perfect spot.
It's perfect.
Well, on the Seakeeper 1, you can deck mount, which a lot of people don't know, and it has its own case. It's water resistant, so that opens up for the smaller boat crowd. That's huge. You can go underneath the leaning post. You can go
build a seat bracket or something out of it,
pretty much anywhere. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you got to put one on your 25 Parker next.
Don't kid.
Yeah.
Mine's under my leaner, even on my boat, which is much bigger, and it's totally fine.
And it's a 3.
Yeah, I have a 3. You're kind of trading
it's a deck mount also.
Backpack space under your leaning post for that, but I'll do that all day long.
I'll find another place to put a backpack for your boat to not move anymore.
Exactly. So it's a pretty solid trade-off, and they anchor it right through the deck into the stringers, and you're kind of on your way. I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's like if you can get the thing in, you need to get it power. Now, if you're running a bigger unit, that's 110 or 220 power, so that's just some Romex. And then you have to have water in to cool it, and then water out for the overflow. That's it. Just power and water. It's not, smaller units actually are a little bit more of a challenge because you need batteries.
Sure.
If you have a Jenny, then it's running off 110. It's very super clean. But, like in a boat like Pete's or a boat like mine, I have batteries that are dedicated to it.
Right.
Doesn't take as much battery as you would think, thankfully, because, these new outboards, even Yamahas are charged. I think I have a 100 amp alternator. My new Mercs have got 150 amp alternator.
150 amp alternator?
That's more than my diesel pickup.
Wow.
It's a lot of juice because these guys know, our outboard power boats have got more and more crap on them every year.
Right. Yeah.
Bigger boats
Big
are running
pumps,
outboards, right? Yeah. So, it's, juice is really not an issue. It's just throwing a couple extra batteries in a small one and on a big one. Like we were talking about this the other day. I'm like, man, I'd rather do all big ones. You just kind of get it in there and get it mounted securely and hook up a couple of lines and you're good to go.
That's cool.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, off subject a little bit, but certainly a part of our both of our sponsorships. Brad from I believe he's from San Diego here says, "Good morning, guys. I'm looking for a comfortable pair of deck fishing boots. I've bought a pair of extra tough boots and they're not comfortable. Do you have any recommendations?"
Oh man, the new AFCOs. The new AFCOs are so good.
So much better than extra toughs.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I have a pair of extra toughs. I've been wearing them for years, and the AFCOs are night and day.
That was to the point.
Well, I don't want to mix any words.
He's not lying.
That's
right?
true, man.
Me and Rush, we love the Sims boots that you could buy a few years ago. Those gray ones, they were the most comfortable boot ever, but they stopped making them. And when AFCO started doing their boot, we're like, give us a tennis shoe with a rubber top. That's all we want. Because if you look at any top captains or whatever, they're all wearing running shoes on the boat. They're not wearing boots because it's better for your back and all that. Those new AFCOs with a pair of smart feet inside of them, dude, you can't. I was wearing tennis shoes because all my boots were hurting my back.
Yeah.
And I've gone to the AFCOs with those, and I don't take them off all summer long.
That's cool.
No, highly recommended for sure.
That's fun.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. This one is good. Good morning, guys. I'm a little confused on boat stabilizers. Are you guys talking is Seakeeper and the Seakeeper Ride two different companies like Ford and Chevy's? It's the same company. Looking for some clarification and absolutely love the thought that I could stabilize my boat for under $10,000. That was all from Mike and Rosebean.
They're all from Seakeeper. So, Seakeeper is the parent company, correct? And then there's Seakeeper Gyro Stabilizers, there's Seakeeper Ride. The gyros can fit just about any size boat, and the ride system right now up to about 35 feet. They're coming out with bigger systems and ways to stack some of the smaller systems, so that'll be coming here shortly. But just different applications and different types of stabilization. The ride acts as if it takes the place of your trim tabs. So it's stern mounted. It's adjusting while you're running. So it'll start to turn on about 10 miles an hour. It'll get ready for deployment, and then when you get on the throttle at about 17 miles an hour, they'll start to drop and they'll take over. And a lot of people don't know that it's an automatic system, but you can manually adjust it. You can add a little more, take a little off. So it does give you. It gives you a lot more control than what some people think. So a lot of people think you go into auto mode and, I can't do anything with it. Well, you can.
Do you need to?
Depending on the boat. Maybe you like to, some people like to ride a little, bow down a little bit more. On the Parkers, we're seeing a boat that typically slaps, because of the entry on the Parker, you don't necessarily want it all the way bowed down, but now that you can hold the bow, if you bring it up a little bit, it slices through the water better. And the other thing on those is going down slow, which is really surprising because, typically, you're supposed to bring your tabs up when you're going down slow. Right. The ride takes over, and it's just you're not surfing down the wave. It'll keep the boat flat and running true.
Man, how nice!
And I didn't even think about that.
26 Blackmans and some of those boats that are so perfect for our little zone, but the one quirk about them is that the following sea issues where they get a little squirrely. Like, a relatively affordable upgrade is about to take the only negative thing away from some of those boats.
Yeah, you nailed it, because like that 26 Blackman, what an awesome boat!
Perfect.
Or those 26 Skipjacks, right? Arguably, there's not a better boat for, if you're going to do a little of everything around here. You put a Seakeeper 1 in one of those things, and you put Ride on it, dude, you'll never sell it. I say it all the time. We loved our Innovator. It was a great boat, but it was tippy. If I put a Seakeeper in that thing, I don't think I ever would have sold it. to be rock solid in a boat like that offers everything that it offers. I mean, it just changes everything.
Says the guy that gets to rip around the ocean at 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't suck either. I mean, the long and short answer is the gyro keeps you from rolling when you are going slow. And it's bigger and it's more expensive, but on a big boat that's going to tip a big sport fish, for me it's a luxury. I'm just lucky to have one because my boat inherently isn't going to roll like that. But then the ride system, high-tech trim tabs.
Totally.
And it gives you, it's not really stability, I would say, as much as it's the ride. It makes your boat ride like it's 10 feet longer, and you'll get better economy. You won't pound. When you turn with the system on, it knows that you're turning, and it twists the trim tabs. So, like, when that thing feels like a catamaran or like it's on train tracks when you turn the boat after it's been installed.
That is so cool.
Like I said, I thought it was a gimmick. I was not a believer. I did the demo ride. I'm the biggest advocate ever now, and that made it that much easier to decide to partner up with Seakeeper and start offering these things.
You buy a dealership, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Right. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more of your texts. We're going to check in with Harold Davis, find out how that great trip's going up at Queen Charlotte Safaris. We got a whole lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
The fish are biting and it's time to go. Hi, this is Ben, and you will see me at my dad's shop, Dana Landing in Mission Bay, or maybe in front of the shop on my kayak. It doesn't matter if you are out there on a kayak with me, on your boat, headed out on a sport boat. Dana Landing has everything you need. We call it the one-stop shop for a great day on the water because it truly is. Food, bait, tackle, beverages, and more. Our tackle shop, headed by John, is certainly one of the best. For freshwater tackle, nothing beats East County Bait and Tackle. These guys have the best rods and reels and the hottest lures and live bait. Our newest shop is Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle with a great stock of both fresh and saltwater tackle right in the heart of Lemon Grove. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway on Mapleview and Lakeside. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle, 94 to Broadway in Lemon Grove, and Dana Landing is next to the Dana Lawn Tramp in Mission Bay. Check out danalanding.com for more details.
It's time to talk about great equipment from Shimano. And, we talk about it before. Talica is like the perfect reel. Perfect rubber drag wheel. But how do you improve perfection?
Yeah, it's not easy, man.
Talica A.
Yeah.
That's how.
They did it.
And with the new 20 and 25 now in stock at your local Shimano dealer, you got to get one.
We love them.
They're amazing. So what's the difference, Rick?
We've got to play with them for a good couple of weeks now, and 20 and 25 both available. I think they did a fantastic job, and there's some significant differences in the 20 and 25A. The biggest thing that you feel when you grab the reels is the handle change differences. On the 20, it's the same style of knob that you're used to, but it's bigger and it fits the reel a little better. The 25 has gone to more of a power handle style. I really like the change. It was a very common upgrade or aftermarket change to swap to a TAC 50 handle, which was a nice shape, but it was a little too big for the reel. This is like a perfect in-between. It has that bigger shape, but it's not so big that it overpowers the reel. I think they nailed it with the handle change. The biggest difference is they have a lower low gear. The low gear has been dropped on both the new 20 and the 25. They have a twin disc drag where the original was a single disc drag. Just a lot of really good changes, but when you look at the reel, you almost don't notice it, and I think that's like the perfect change. Yeah. Paint job's a teeny bit different. The handle's silver instead of gold. Like there's some very subtle differences. Exterior, it's all on the inside where it counts. They did a great job.
Check it out, the new Shimano Talica A 20 and 25 now at your local Shimano dealer. Hey, San Diego, the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealer now through September and make it your best summer yet. Get great offers on the most popular Ford trucks and SUVs. And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, and that means now is the best time to get behind the wheel of your brand new Ford and drive it home today. Only at your San Diego County Ford dealers. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Seasoned long-range fishermen know that the Red Rooster 3 is the finest fishing vessels in terms of technology, design, speed, comfort, and safety. This 105-foot sport fishing yacht meets every demand for comfort while delivering an unforgettable fishing vacation. Captain Andy Cates and crew are experienced, friendly, and sincere in their desire to help you have the trip of a lifetime. Book a trip on the Red Rooster 3, and you'll be back. Trips go fast. So check redrooster3.com or call Lee Palm Sport Fisheries at 619-224-3857.
it. Give your boat the love it deserves and install a custom Sea Deck kit from Blue Seas Fabrication. Blue Seas is the West Coast's only certified Sea Deck fabricator and installer. Sea Deck upgrades the look and feel of any boat, old or new. Sea Deck non-skid decking adds comfort, convenience, safety, and value. Let the experts from Blue Seas Fabrication custom fit your deck, bridge, and interiors with stylish, durable, stain-resistant, and easy-to-clean Sea Deck. Check BlueSeasFabrication.com and enhance your fishing experience.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning. Been a busy morning on the text. Lots of great time. Do have an open phone line right now. If you want to get through, 213-432-1090 open right now if you want to get your shot at winning that $300 certificate to Costa Sunglasses.
Well, you know, Rick, when they say you really missed it, I really missed it. Unfortunately, I had to stay back on the Queen Charlotte Safaris trip, but Harold Davis got to go. Good morning, Harold.
You missed it.
Probably the best fishing ever, right?
It was epic, and it's still epic. You'll hear it probably tomorrow when Corey calls in. You just couldn't get away from the fish. Never quite had a problem like that before. And it was so much fun because the first thing we did, we said we're going to go out and catch some salmon because everybody wants to get some salmon. And the next thing you know, by 10 o'clock, we're limited out 4 people and fish up to 25 pounds. So we kind of just goofed around. Yeah, I know some guys were done by 9, but we, my current wife kept losing them. But anyway, it was fun. And we went out to do some halibut fishing and checked out the halibut grounds, and it was a little bit slow. I think we got one that was 70 pounds. So the next day, we went back out and decided we were going to do some rock cod fishing. So he says, I know there's a place where there's some canary rockfish, and these things are all like 8-pound plus canaries. And we started catching lings and canaries and lings and canaries and lings and canaries, and yet we were done quick and didn't want to really catch any more fish. The third day, we decided to put the hurt to them, and we were actually out fishing nothing but lings, strictly lings. And I grabbed one of those fat boy swim baits that's about 9 inches long with a big square tail, and I thought I would just crank that thing across the bottom and catch some lings, and I never got bit on a chartreuse and white swim bait, and I'm going, that's kind of crazy. So I went into the cabin and grabbed one that was purple and black, and I kept getting hit reeling back up, and enough to where they ripped the swim bait back on the hook. I cut off about an inch of it, and I was catching 25-pound salmon on an 8-inch swim bait. This is a 12-ounce sinker, 80-pound line. It was crazy. They were just killing it, and the fishing was like that for every boat up there. The fish processor said he hasn't had that much fish come in out of a trip this year at all.
And Corey is experiencing. I've been getting daily texts from Corey. Corey's experiencing flat, calm weather and just epic fishing, and he beat your record real easy. They had limits of kings by 8:30.
Jeez.
Yeah, and you don't even get to the grounds till like 7:45, right?
Exactly. It's so wide open on salmon, and you need to be a little bit careful there because if you wanted to, you could stay with all 20 and 25-pound salmon. Wow. No problem. Not even a question.
Yeah. And that's one of the unique things about Queen Charlotte Safaris is that they have a year-round, or season-long, I should say, not year-round, but season-long king salmon run there, along with silvers and also chum. You get some chum too. But then the lingcod fishing is what really goes crazy up there because it gets untouched. It's pretty much of an untouched thing. But I got to do a big shout-out to Valerie. That lady is unbelievable. The work she puts into that lodge and her attention to detail just it's all about making people happy, right, Harold?
It's easy. You go, I want to go, and you hang up the phone. Next thing you know, you got plane tickets there, plane tickets back, motel, transfer going to the island. All your fish processing is there. Your license is taken care of. It has all new weathers this year and all new boots that are really lightweight, really super nice. It couldn't be easier. It could not be easier. She personally comes to the airport, makes sure that those fish get weighed and checked in and tagged properly. and away you go.
And it's small. It's only 24 people at the lodge. Food is incredible. Our listeners have been mobbing Queen Charlotte Safaris. So my caution to you is, I talked to Valerie last night. I think she said there's 3 spots left on our trip, August 3rd through the 7th next year. But then Corey's trip, which is the week before, which is the trip before that, it leaves at the end of July, still has a few spots left. So if you want to go with us next year, you better get on it, right, Harold?
Yes, it's incredible. The people that came just all rebooked.
Yeah,
that's what we're in. We're staying.
Yeah, we're sold.
We had some new people come with their wives, and they just loved it.
Yeah. She said, Valerie was telling me Sandy and Ted Heckman, who have been everywhere with us and with the Let's Talk Hookup trips for many, many years, and just great people. They already booked already. They're coming back. So if Sandy and Ted rebooked, then you know it's a good deal for sure.
Yeah, John Avery and his wife rebooked. It's just a ton of people rebooked.
Yeah. So if you want to come with us next year, don't hesitate. QCSafaris.com for more information. QCSafaris.com. Call Valerie to your questions and get you going. And I'm glad you had such a great trip, Harold.
Yeah, and she's going to be changing the name of the lodge to Hideaway Safaris.
Hideaway
Safaris.
Because that's what. So that's the name. The name. Let's go deeper into that. Hideaway is the official name of it, because the Hideaway Indians are the ones that live there. It used to be the Queen Charlotte Islands, but now it's politically better to say Hideaway, because it's really Hideaway because of the Indians. So Valerie's doing the right thing in sticking with the local culture there of Hideaway and changing the name of the lodge to Hideaway Safaris. So you'll see both names, Queen Charlotte Safaris and Hideaway Safaris, but don't be confused, because it is the same.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, Harold.
We'll see you next year.
Yeah. Thanks for. Well, I hope sooner than that. Thanks for calling in, Harold.
I'll bring you some salmon, Pete.
All right, Harold. Thanks, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
All right.
All right.
Let's do it.
Well, why don't we jump into the phones? And if you want to get through, again, give us a call, 213-432-1090. Let's talk to Tom, calling us from University City. Good morning, Tom.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I actually have a question about fish dope. I'm a fish dope subscriber, and I was hoping that this year I'd like to get on my smaller skiff. I'd like to get out and catch some yellowfin. And so I was wondering if Ollie could just provide a few tips on what I'm looking for in fish dope. I mean, I've got the weather handled and everything, but in terms of locating the fish and fish dope, like which part, any tips on how to use fish dope for that purpose?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the biggest thing we need to do that right now is some yellowfin. It's like, it's mid-August. Where are they?
Where are they?
They're like conspicuously absent, and I know a lot of these guys are like me, man, and we catch a lot of bluefin, but when those yellowfin come to town, I am licking my chops. I love cooking them on the grill. They're so good to eat, but they have just been few and far between. We had some come in, and they squirted up north, and I really have not been seen from too much.
And the grade of yellowfin that the sport boat guys are now experiencing, like it's not that far below us, you know, like it's not in range yet, don't get me wrong, but it's not 500 miles either. It's like some of the best yellowfin tuna fishing they have seen in years and years. It's 30 to 70 pound fish, and it's biting nails, and just, man, if that fish slides into our zone, come on.
Ricky, if you tied,
oh my God,
if you tied a 60-pound yellowfin to a 120-pound bluefin, who's going to drown?
It's that bluefin's not going to stand one chance.
My man.
It's not the same animal.
They're just a different, bigger motor. That's the biggest thing, and that's, I think, one of the reasons we go down in Mexico catching those big ones on the kite and stuff. Oh. Man, I don't even like to pull on fish. If it's big yellowfin, I will elbow you out of the way. Ask Chris. Like, that's one of I go crazy for them.
And they just
just like to hurt, is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
they're the ultimate
Glenn for punishment.
Yeah, and they just pull so hard, and they pull so much line off the reel, and they're so fast. I mean, that's taking nothing away from a bluefin.
Yeah,
not at all. They're different.
No, bluefin are awesome, but
bluefin, like,
they're not yellowfin.
Yeah, bluefin the bite is when you can see them. They're head shaking SOBs.
And they bite.
And they're, the yellowfin, when they're finished, they circle pretty flat and pretty predictable, and, bluefin are not, and they switch back, and they go different directions, but, man, there's no comparison. Yeah, a big yellowfin is just that's where it's at.
And those sickle ones that we've caught on some of our travel trips, dude, I see those sickles, and I'm just like, I turn into a kid. Yeah, I don't know what it is, because we don't get them in Mexico as much or whatever, but you get a 100-pounder and it's got sickles touching its tail. Oh, God, those Fiji ones or the ones in the Gulf. Awesome.
So following up on Tom's question about fish dope, what different things do you look at when you're going fishing?
First and foremost would be the reports. Yeah. I mean, we're going to keep you on top of them as best as we can. We've got our spotter plane out there looking for them, and we can tell even from the air the difference between yellowfin and bluefin. And that's where I would really, stay in touch. And then the tactics early on in the year, the little metal lures. I like those gomames from Williamson, but when they're foaming up and they don't want to look at anything and you can throw baits at them and troll through them, that little metal lure will trick them more times than anything. And then, some of those clear poppers, I think that those would be my two real go-tos, because a lot of times they first get here, it takes them a month to settle in and really eat bait on a good pick bite, or some of the stuff, we think of growing up on the sport boats. That doesn't happen right out of the gate. A lot of times they're running around trying to figure out where what food is or whatever, or they're inundated with anchovy. I think those are the ones that I would really go for. Then as the season, settles in, obviously the finesse rig with 20, 25 pound fluoro and a small hook, drifting with them. That's the one good thing too that I like about yellowfin is they'll kind of stick with you better than I feel like bluefin. You don't do a lot of 6-hour bluefin drifts on a pick bite really. The yellowfin are a lot more, I think, inclined to kind of hang out with the boats and that, and it's just you kind of got to match the cycle of what's going on, and I think those are really the two phases. You got that casting popper phase, and then you've got the the long soak bait, and you can always catch them on the troll as well, but not my favorite way to do it. I think that either one of those two options is going to be your best bet.
Yeah, and Danny and the Fish Dope crew have great technique suggestions when you read the reports and find that out. Yeah, it's good stuff for sure. Speaking of that yellowfin that Ricky was just talking about at the long range boats, there's still a couple spots left on that 8-day trip on the American Angler, August 22nd to the 30th. I mean, absolute prime time. Probably one of the best yellowfin tuna bites in our history that we can remember for sure. Good. So you want to take advantage of that. Call Lori at the American Angler office, 619-223-5414.
With that too, there's been it's not early season anymore. Now it's like prime time, but there's been really good wahoo fishing, which we haven't seen in a few years, down at the rocks and even on the ridge. But an 8-day trip, perfect length of time to go down to Alejos Rocks and
the American Angler.
Yeah, take advantage of that really good wahoo fishing.
You can't get on the American Angler normally.
Yeah, I mean
the fact that there's two spots on an August trip on the American Angler. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's the one for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, more of your phone calls, more text messages, and we're going to check in with the catch report, find out what's biting up and down the beach. You stay tuned. More Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
Hey everyone, James Holst here with Norsk Lithium, the official battery partner of Let's Talk Hookup. Here at Norsk Lithium, we have two goals that drive who we are and what we do. The first is to make the highest quality, longest lasting lithium batteries available with a complete lineup of batteries that include 12, 24, 36 volt and starting batteries. Second, in addition to offering a 10-year warranty on all Norsk Lithium marine batteries, we provide amazing customer service before and after the sale. Check us out online at norsklithium.com. That's NORSK lithium.com, or call us at 831-232-9063. Or to see Norsk Lithium batteries in person, stop by the Trolling Motor Doctor in Lakewood or Anglers Marine in Anaheim and see why Norsk Lithium batteries should be in your boat.
No matter where the adventure takes you, we've got you powered. Norsk Lithium.
Great fishing is what Seaforth Sports Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limits, Elgato Doe, Pride, Polaris Supreme, Tribute, Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. Spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at RoyalStarSportFishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
Captain Jamie Tennis from Season Sport Fishing here. For the past few seasons, a dart-styled metal jig has come into play in a big way for tuna offshore or even rockfish down deep. AFTCO's crossbreed jig has quickly become the go-to for many since it came onto the market. AFTCO's crossbreed jig is good to go right out of the package with a 4X treble hook, heavy-duty split rings, West Coast colors, and sizes 60 gram to 120 gram. Pick one up today at your local tackle store or learn more on AFTCO.com.
Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Catine, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.